Hello everyone! Welcome back to Echoes of the Plum Grove. So this is pretty exciting. I finally reached the end of my pre-recorded episodes from way back in September. Fish, please. Oh, two turtles. Find them in lakes or ponds during the day. Well, we will do our best to take that. Now, I have to say, I have done some extra playing in Echoes of the Plum Grove. I also liked the game so much, I even purchased it on the Switch, and I have to say I'm very happy with it. Like, it's very similar play to what we have on Steam here, which is fantastic. And to be honest, I didn't even know that they were going to release on Switch, so I was extra delighted when I found out that actually was the case, and I was able to pick it up there and enjoy the playthrough on Switch as well. Now, of course, I still have not made it through an entire year, even on like personal played files. So it's going to be kind of interesting. I haven't gotten to experience all of the festivals and everything. Although what I have found is I do like to modify a few of the settings. I think, I want to say, I think I've turned off the fishing mini game in here. What do we got going on here? 12-hour clock, fishing game. Oh, let's just turn it off. Aging's normal, taxes are on. There's like so much stuff in here. Item decay on. Now, the item decay is something that I have been turning off, and the hunger I have also been turning off. I'm not as big on the survival features. I do like to turn it more into like a traditional farming RPG. Maybe play with the food and stuff a little bit longer, but if it becomes a little too exhausting, like what I've noticed, it kind of depends on what you're used to, right? Because if you're used to more of the survival farming and stuff, you might actually like that the food decays and stuff like that. But I noticed that in past farming games, that has not been my particular joy in life. So it is a thing that we might eventually turn off just to make it more of a relaxed, cozy farming experience. And that's what I really like about this game, is that there's so many different ways to play. Good to see you, fine madame. French fries look like one of the easiest foods to make, but you'll need to get your hands on some cooking oil first. Martha Lloyd isn't a farmer, but she said that she enjoys growing crops as a hobby. Do we have anything that you might actually like? You know what? He might actually like the turnip. Let's try. Thank you kindly. I'll return the favor someday. Aw, thank you. And it always freaks me out when we gift an NPC and it drops down to the insult. The one thing that has taken some getting used to is just remembering that the darker line in the menu that we selected is in fact the one. Oh my goodness, we're broke. Fantastic. Okay, I see how it is. I need to check our quest too because I don't remember what we have going on there. Oh, we have a lot of wood. We could sell some wood. I'm like kind of tempted to grow some plants, although I'll be very honest, I have not been successful with it in my present games because it seems like you have to water them every day or they die. And I don't know if it was just where I was planting them, but I was constantly forgetting about them. Okay, what do we have for quests? Oh my goodness, menu, work with us here. Okay, we need 2 potatoes. Oh, we have one of those. Oh, the mushrooms. I don't know why, but I feel like the mushrooms are like the most difficult thing ever to try and find. Oh my goodness, it looks like we're gonna have our hands full. The cherries will actually be quite easy. Wow, I think we bit off a lot here. I don't know if we're actually gonna get our pineapples there. Okay, so we have a few NPCs to track down. Wow, we have a massive list growing. Do, 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 do. And it just keeps getting bigger. I was gonna say, is it too late in the day? Where is our good buddy here? Let's check our map. Where are our NPCs that need something? Okay, we have two way out yonder. Love it. And we also definitely need to cut through the forest. Oh my goodness. But yeah, this is just such a cute, charming, cozy game. The sickness and diseases I do like to leave on. Like, I've seen a little bit of how that impacts the game, and it was really funny because I've only played a couple of days here that I've actually recorded, and then I went and created a second file where I played, I think it was like a season and a half to 2 seasons, and there was no sickness my entire first season of the game. So I was just like, oh yeah, this is pretty chill and relaxing. I like this. Like maybe the disease and stuff comes later. And I had a sister that was quite interested in the game too, so I let her start playing it. And she had diseases breaking out like crazy in her first spring, and she had so many NPC funerals. It was she was like traumatized. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna court this person, and then they got sick and passed away. And then she's like, well, maybe this person, and then they got sick and passed away. And she was like, oh my goodness, she's like, half my village has died. But that's kind of part of the exciting charm that this game has is you just don't know what's going to happen. So every time you play it, you're going to experience something different, which is pretty awesome. Maybe let's dip down into the caves. I think we need to do a little bit of mining. And it would probably help us if we turn on the lantern. So that is one of the really cool things about this game is that usually in farming games, like you get introduced to NPCs, and they're usually the same NPCs you have through the entire game. But in this game, your NPCs can grow old and pass away. They can get sick and pass away. You never know how much time you are going to have with a given NPC or your own personal character for that matter. And I think that's just part of what makes this game so special in a very cool way because you never know what NPCs are going to suddenly show up or who's going to get married and have children, and it's pretty neat. Dun, 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 mining away. I have to admit, though, the tools breaking, that's not something that I've ever taken off of this game so far. But I could see the temptation because it's like the tools break so easily. At least the starter tools that we have, and there is stuff we're leaving on the ground here. Oh my goodness. Are we going to throw something away? Maybe like some gross seaweed? Oh, the rotting. I'm like, the rotting is so stressful. I think we're gonna throw the sticks away. I haven't come across a use for it, but I haven't gotten to experience a lot of the new updates. So we are on the most current update now, the one that they just released for April. So that's going to be pretty cool. I know they've been adding stuff and they've got like a little roadmap of things that they want to keep adding to the game. So I'm really glad that the game is constantly growing and developing and new stuff is getting added, which is great because I thought the game was pretty good when I first stumbled across it. Now it's had a few updates since then, which has added even more cool stuff to it. Okay, let's get out before our lantern is out of oil. Because as easy as you think it would be to get out of that cave when you run out of fuel, it is not that easy. It's like you stumble into just about everything and get caught in very strange places. Dun, dun, dun. See what else we can grab. I'm just like completely in love with the graphics. I just love it so much. It's just such a it's like a fun looking game despite how dark it can be. It's just, I guess it's like a little something to be said for like the irony of how cute and cozy it looks. And then it's like, oh yeah, you can get sick and pass away. And if you don't have a family member, it's game over. Dun, dun, dun. So, what have I learned in my leisurely pastime of playing Echoes of the Plum Grove? Dun, dun, dun. Yes, let's talk to you. If you didn't know, my wife just loves reading fiction, nonfiction, you name it. As a child, I used to love watching the rain through the window. And I don't know, this is like a medical ingredient. Would you like this? Thanks for the gift, Piplin. I appreciate it. And what do you have to trade for? Now, one thing I have noticed in the game is that buying medicine early on is probably a good thing because I know I once got sick and I was panicking. I thought my character was going to die. They did have the potential to die, and I was like trying to scrounge up the medicine that I needed, like right then and there, except the doctor wasn't selling it. And I was like, oh no, my character is done for. So that was interesting. So I think we'll just stock up on a little bit of medicine. And of course, some of these only have like a certain percentage to work. And that was the other thing. It was like, oh yeah, you can pay all this money for this medicine, but it only has like the small percentage chance of actually curing you. So you might actually need a couple bottles of it in order to survive. How fun with that? Like, it's cause for panic, but it's still fun because you're just like determined. You're like, I will survive. Oh my goodness, we need to buy some plants. Okay, let's definitely do that. And let's take a peek where, okay, she's running away. Let's go catch her really quickly. Dun, dun, dun. On a mission. I just really enjoy like all of the different quests, and the quests are like so demanding. Okay, were you the lady? Yes, you were. Hey, let's turn in that quest. You're a lifesaver, thank you. These aren't as scary as they look. They won't harm you, silly. I love picking mushrooms just in the off chance that I find a rare one. Farewell. Hey, Piplin, how's it going? Take care. Okay, so, oh my goodness, she's kicking that recipe around. Let's go see. Do we have one that we can read? So, getting the recipes is like a necessity. If you can get a quest with a recipe, highly recommend you grab it. Worst case scenario, they offer you a recipe that you've already collected on, in which case you can just turn around and sell it for some quick cash. So that is handy too. I like the rainy days, like the stress going away from trying to water all your crops. Fantastic. Why, thank you. Wish those crows would leave my crops alone. If only there was a way to scare them off. Now, I don't think I've actually come across a crow eating my crops so far, so I don't know that you actually need a scarecrow, but I could be wrong about that. Compared to the mainland, Honeywood is nice and quiet, just the way I like it. Oh, well that is fantastic. Do we have, yeah, we have a tool that needs to be repaired. Can we afford to repair it? How much cash do we have? Do we have the 37 gold? Uh, we probably don't have the gold, do we? We might have to trade you something here. We have 22. Okay, 2 days until rot. That's like usually the indicator that we should we should sell something. Oh, but now I'm scared. Like, were those for quests? This is why I don't like the rotting scenario, because I'm just like, wheat seeds, we definitely need to get planted. Seaweed, I don't think we need it. Like, fish and stuff are very hard to keep around if you have that rotting feature turned on. And I do know that you are able to like craft yourself a refrigerator, I think. I haven't actually gotten around to do it. I think when I did it, it was well, not did it, I never succeeded, but it was like quite demanding in supplies. And I was just like, I got overwhelmed with the rotting. So I did end up shutting that feature off. And we will likely end up shutting off the rotting feature because it's like, well, it's really good that we can use the rot for fertilizer, and I'm not quite sure how you get stuff to rot if you want to use fertilizer. If you shut off that feature, like maybe it's just something you give up, which, I would probably easily give up the ability to have fertilizer if it meant stuff did not rot out of our inventory. Dun, dun. So now that we have shut off the fishing mini game, it's actually really easy. We just cast our line, we get the exclamation mark over our head, and then we just have to push a button and we get the fish, which is fantastic. It's kind of like more like traditional Harvest Moon games where it's just quickly there's a bite, reel it in, nice, easy, quick, no fuss, no muss. But if you enjoy the mini game, which I could see how it would be appealing, really, we're hungry again. Oh my goodness. Like, didn't we just eat? Do we have any food? I think part of it was maybe for a quest. Because that was part of my issue. And again, that adds to the difficulty of the game where you have to constantly keep feeding yourself because it's a survival game. And if you can't craft yourself food, you need to be able to buy it, which costs money, which makes getting a leg up in this game so challenging. Okay, have we met any other requirements? We have. Oh yeah, it's still early enough. We can get inside. I'm like, are you gonna be? Uh-oh. Can we get in? Uh-oh. Are they sick? Now, that's another thing. You can kind of check that out a little bit just by checking on everyone's portrait in here. If they look like they are sick, they tend to wall themselves away in their bedrooms. Okay, looks like we have a lot of NPCs we haven't met yet. Good thing we're only like 5 days in. All right, I think it is time to head home. That NPC must have an early bedtime because we didn't see any sick-looking portraits, which I can believe would be the case right about now because I think there's like a ship that comes in on the weekends, and that's where they bring in like new characters that either can stay or they just come for a visit. And that was like something that was really funny on the last file that I played just on my Switch that I had started because it was a Saturday and they're having like a little market day in town. And there was this one NPC that I didn't recognize that likely came from a ship. Good day, Piplin. What brings you to the neck of the woods? Witchcraft, ha ha ha. The rain came in this morning and it doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime soon. Okay, this is the lady that sells the death cakes, which, oh my goodness, so scary. Oh, we could learn how to craft one. That's even more scary, I think. We'll just kill off any sick NPCs. I wonder if that was like the intention to give you the ability to possibly kill off NPCs that look sick before they infect the entire town. Is this a gift? That's very nice of you, Piplin. So long. All right, I think it is getting time for us to head home. We maybe should have focused on doing a little bit of fishing earlier on because those... Oh, we have other fish that we need to catch, don't we? Okay, potatoes. Oh yeah, we do have a couple fishy-like things, although our problem is that our inventory is so full. Okay, where is that NPC? Probably asleep already. Okay, we know where that one is. Okay, time to consult the map. Ah, they're in town. Oh, we have a couple in town. Oh man. It's like that horrible part where it's getting late at night and the NPCs go to sleep, and I'm like, our inventory is so full, we might have to dump some stuff out into our chest. Dun, dun, dun. and I just love it. It's dark, but at least I'm familiar enough with the main paths now that I don't get too intimidated walking around in the dark. So yeah, it's gonna be really interesting because we're gonna have to like start fronting up some NPCs so that we can get married and have a family. So if anything were to happen to our precious Pip, we will still be able to continue playing. It's like the most devastating thing ever to think that we're going to potentially lose our beloved NPC or beloved player. But it is cool that we can start playing as other NPCs in the game. Right. Can we still get into any of these houses, or is it going to be too late? Uh, you weren't one of the houses. One right behind us. I knew we were close. Okay, let's try this house. Nope, you're only open till 5, and I'm pretty sure the doctor's house is right next to their actual clinic, so we might be able to get inside. Hello, is anyone home? I'm thinking we can't get up there. I love that we can just break in when they're asleep. Could just rob the place blind. They'd never be any wiser, would they? Probably. They'd be like, oh, that Piplin. All right, I think we can still grab a couple pieces of wood here. Wood is definitely an excellent way to get some early game cash because it's worth quite a bit. And it doesn't really take any energy or anything in order to get that. All right, let's head back to the farm. We're going to have to feed poor little Pip before she goes to bed because she's getting hungry again. And like I said, that might be something that we turn off pretty quickly here. It's just one of those features that I'm not used to having to deal with, and I think it's going to make the game more stressful than enjoyable to have it in. And we want to have a nice, enjoyable experience, so I actually don't feel bad about turning those kinds of features off because the developers want you to enjoy the game. And they just want to be able to give as many people as possible the ability to enjoy the game. Otherwise, they would not put those features in if they didn't want you playing playing your game in a more relaxed manner. Okay, we can probably throw the clay in there too. And our medicine, we don't need to be hauling that around. We will know where it is kept. And let's throw 99 wood in. We still have the 27. Okay, that gives us a little bit more room here. And why don't we throw our drying rack out? So this has to be placed inside the house. And we can throw some cherries on there. And maybe eat one or two or three. See, I like giving the cherries out as gifts, so having to eat them is like a little sad. So if we sleep until rested, okay, it'll be 5:46 a.m. Or we can sleep until dawn. You know what? Let's get an early start on our day tomorrow. All right, everyone. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time.